weeks since I did a video, and I am in New Zealand. I will add some pictures and videos into the video, make it a little bit snazzy with some colors and some scenery and some landscape, rather than just like me talking today. But yeah, I'll put in a few clips of New Zealand. But I'm so excited to be making this video. Yeah, because so much has been happening. I always say that. So much has been happening more within my mind. Lots of different calculations and shifts going on. And that is slowly reflecting into my reality, which is really exciting. Really, like I feel like I'm finally making those big breakthroughs in a lot of different aspects in my life, in work, career, finance, love, relationships, family, yeah, and the relationship with myself is definitely evolving as well. At the same time, I'm learning more about myself, more about what I want, more about how to navigate life in general. Yeah, life is just such an interesting game, and I always fear calling it a game, because I know some people will argue that it's not a game. Of course, there are things that happen in this world that are horrible and scary and unjust, but in terms of navigating things that we struggle with, like health, wellness, money, career, our dreams, ambitions, relationships, manifesting, those things, you know, I see them as games. And I always say that I don't play games. I don't play video games, I don't play board games, anything like that. I don't play games on my phone, but I love this game of life. And obviously I love it, and sometimes I don't, but I love when I learn new things and I can connect the dots and things make sense and I can share it with other people. You know, because isn't that what it's about? It's about us evolving and growing in this life experience and being able for that to be a ripple effect to others around us. And I've only recently realized, you know, that's only a ripple effect if it is able to reach someone's level of consciousness, because we're all at different states of consciousness, and some things I will say will reach one person and won't reach another person, and it's okay. But yeah, I'm just doing what I can and sharing what I know as I go along. So yeah, there are a ton of things I want to talk about, but let's just kind of get an overview of like how New Zealand has been, because I've been here for maybe 3 to 4 weeks. Crazy, it's been that long already. But yeah, when I first got here, I was definitely excited, because I think whenever we go to a new country, there's always a big question mark around it. Of course, we can look at videos and hear other people's opinions, but it's really about what is that country to you? You know, what will your interaction be with it? What will your relationship be with it? What will your perception be of it? And I really should. I don't really Google or research much about a country before I go. So I did mention going to New Zealand here and there to some people, and looked at a few videos, but not for long, like literally like 1 minute, and I'll be like, okay, I'll just see how I'll see how it is when I get there. And so that's what I did. The biggest shock when I came here was that it's very quiet. It's so quiet. Cafes close at 4 p.m. Bars close pretty early. Restaurants close early. I've not heard of a club that opens till late, or that is good, or a club in general, to be honest. So that was a big shock. And I realized New Zealand's more about the landscape, rather than like the entertainment or the nightlife or like socializing. You know, where I am right now with my friend, they call it God's waiting room. So it really is a lot of old people, families, people who are in the like 9 to 5 structure, which is completely different and very drastic to where I was coming in Thailand, where, you know, a lot of travelers, a lot of backpackers, expats, nomads, you know, things are just on 24/7. And I love that, you know, I can go to a cafe at 10 p.m. if I want to go work for 2 hours, or I can go for like a midnight smoothie at 3 a.m. I love that. And so coming here and recognizing kind of the limitations I had around doing the things that I would normally do, I had to like recalibrate. I think my body was in a state of shock, my nervous system was in a state of shock, because I went from 3 months in Thailand, and before that I was in Turkey. So it was always very, very happening. Go, 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 do. Let's meet people, let's go out, let's work, let's create. Just doing everything at once. And now that I'm here, and also in New Zealand, you have to drive, you know, public transport isn't as I know it to be in London or in China or in Turkey or in Thailand, in Southeast Asia. I can just like order a bike or a taxi super cheap, but it's not like that here. Everyone drives and taxis are very expensive. So I go on trips with my friend on the weekend, but in the weekdays, I also don't drive. I've been a bit of a spoiled brat, taking public transport my whole life. Yeah, I have driven scooters in Thailand, but I can't drive a car. So I was like, fuck. You know, I'm gonna have to recalibrate how I exist and show up in this new location. And I saw it as a blessing in a way. It's very grounding. I can really sit down and do the work that I need to do. I can get, you know, I need to focus and get stuck in and confront the things that I might be running away from. But it was also like a bit frustrating at times. I think, I said this to my friend yesterday, but every Sunday when she has to go, you know, every Sunday when I know she has to go work on Monday, a part of me just like, it's a bit sad, because I'm like, shit, I'm gonna spend the next week by myself. And she comes home sometimes pretty late, or maybe at 5 or 6, but then she goes to bed quite early because she's a doctor and she has to be at the hospital the next morning really, really early. So I'm like, fuck, like what do I do? There's nothing to do. I'm not really like I don't really watch TV. I just work pretty much, and I guess it's also good that I get to fill some of that time with exercise, because I haven't really been exercising much or keeping up with self-care practices like meditation, stretching, reading, journaling, things like that that help me feel good in my body, make me slow down, and yeah, to feel grounded. So yeah, that was one of the biggest shocks for me when it came to being here in New Zealand. And I knew that coming here would, I don't know, it was one of those things where I knew it would satisfy my needs in some way, like being with a friend and having a stable foundation, like having a stable home for a few weeks is really what I needed. I needed not to just keep moving around every few weeks or every few months, and being able to like have all my stuff in one place, to feel safe, to feel comfortable, and yeah, not like having some financial pressure being taken off from me by being here and staying with my friend. But I also knew, because New Zealand was a lot more expensive than Southeast Asian countries, it was going to push me in the right way, to take the actions and the steps I needed to within my career and in terms of earning more money. because my big goals right now is to earn more money, switch careers out of teaching, and to have a home and a partner. But the first three are really what I'm working on constantly every day. And so yeah, I felt like coming here was going to help me get closer to my goal. So yeah, I'm very big on personal growth and self-improvement. So I usually put myself in situations where I feel uncomfortable because I know it pushes me to grow. But I've now learned, now that I'm older, that it's good to do it in a healthy and loving and appropriate way. I think in the past I'd put myself in pretty dangerous situations to stimulate growth. And now I know that I don't have to do that. As long as there's a bit of tension, for example, like, I'm like, yeah, it's great that I can stay with my friends for a few weeks, but I want to go travel soon, you know, and I don't have a car, so I'm gonna have to afford transportation and afford New Zealand prices. So I should really start earning some more money, you know, because that would make me feel a lot more capable and comfortable rather than trying to just make do with what I have and really stretch it and feel very on edge. So yeah, it's nice being here because I know it's pushing me in the right ways. That tension is sometimes frustration or anger, and sadness, or the desire to be free and independent. So those are the right emotions that are fueling and motivating me to take big leaps in my career right now, and to believe that I'm capable of making more money and making money in the way that I want to make money. I think for people like me, creatives, entrepreneurs, travelers, people who don't fit into the 9-to-5 structure, we have to make our own blueprint, and it's hard and confusing and it can be difficult because I think we're fighting against the existing structure. We're fighting against all the noise around us. We're trying to listen to ourselves. We're trying to believe in ourselves and our ideas, and we're putting the pieces together as we go. You know, there's not a blueprint sent out for us. There's not a template set out for us. And maybe we might find inspiration from others we might come across in person or on social media or in our industry. But really, if you're creating something that's very unique to you, it's gonna be a challenge. Of course, it's gonna be a big challenge. So that's what I am doing right now, and creating my own structure and believing in my own structure, and feeling that I'm worthy and deserving enough that I can have a life like this. It's possible, and a lot of people do it all the time, but I really do think there's a divide, and that the majority of the people on earth are living the 9-to-5 structure. So if you're trying to if you're someone who's trying to pull away from that because you know it doesn't feel right, and I think that's what a lot of anxiety and depression comes from. From my experience, that's what a lot of my depression came from. I had suffered from depression quite a lot when I was younger, maybe by the age of like 16, 17, 19, 22, 24, and again at 25, 26. So yeah, I had a lot of depressive episodes, and it was because now that I have distance away from those experiences and have years behind it, and have pursued more of a life that suits me, I now know that those depressive episodes were because I was living a life that just didn't didn't feel right. It didn't make sense. And I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. And yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is where a lot of sadness comes from. People who are trying to fit into a structure that just doesn't do it for them. You know, it's like wearing the wrong pair of jeans or wearing the wrong pair of shoes. You can force it, but you know that it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't look good, you know? And so this journey really is about trusting myself. Yeah. And I'll do another video on this, but I realized recently I'm working a lot from doing mirror work, as in like what is coming up in my life right now and what is it reflecting to me. And I had a moment where I felt someone didn't trust me, and naturally I would automatically, based on like how I was brought up and how my relationship was with my mom, she would always accuse me of things. And I'd be like, no, I didn't do it. I know I didn't do it. Hand on my heart, promise, I know. And she would continually just be like, yeah, you did. And that has led to a history of doubting myself in every area of my life. And people gaslighting me and lying to me, and me, yeah, thinking that it's my fault. And recently I had someone who was, I reflected and I was like, well, that person doesn't trust me. And then I reflected on myself, well, if that person doesn't trust me, what do I not trust in myself? And I listed all these things in my mind. I was like, wow, you don't trust yourself to pursue this career. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust that you're good enough to pursue this career. You don't trust that you can make the money that you want. You don't trust that you can achieve the things that you want. You don't trust that you can build this life that you want. And I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. And so I'm like, yeah, that's my biggest thing right now. Do I trust myself? And something else I do want to mention is that when I came here, I was like, okay, it's time to make more money. I've been living off about £800 per month through teaching for God since last August, and this whole year I've been just working towards earning more money. You know, what is the right stream for me to earn more money? Is it through creativity, through writing, through teaching, through coaching, mentoring, fashion, all these things? And well, yeah, when I got here I was like, it's time, I'm ready. I feel it. I feel the push. I feel I have everything that I need. I have the energy, I have the motivation, I have the knowledge, I have the support, I have it all. So it's time. And one thing I was tussling with is like, okay, if I want more money, do I just like work for a company for a few months whilst I'm figuring out what I am on the side? And I thought about it. I was like, no. I was like, no, it's not. You're not meant to work for someone else, Dana. You're meant to do your own thing. And I thought it was more like freelancing, you know, writing and whatever, or working for a company, like a really aligned company. But it's not that. And I know this because I've been in this cycle a couple of times where I'm like, this is too much, I need more money, let's go and work for a company, just like find a job to bridge me from where I am to where I want to be. And then I just think like, no, like my vision of what I want to achieve, what I want to build, what I want to create, the stories that I want to tell, the people that I want to connect with, the change I want to make, all of that comes from my vision, from my perspective, from my heart, from my soul, from my life experiences. I will not find that in someone else's business. So I had to admit to myself that it was time to do my own thing. And it was something that I was avoiding for a long time because I've tried on multiple occasions to set up a business when I was in my early 20s. But I just got so confused. I had so many ideas and I got confused between my ideas and my passions, and then I saw everything just being really, really big and gigantic, and I would just freeze and just crumble. And funny enough, all the beliefs that I've been working on dismantling right now are the beliefs that I was really struggling back then. So, which is a great reflection of you're ready now, Dana, because you've dismantled these beliefs. And these beliefs were like, I'm not ready, I need more knowledge, I need more experience, I don't know how to do this, I need to create a website, I need to all these things. And I was like, I can't do it. But now I know that I'm ready. It's taken me years, and unconsciously I've worked on the things that I used to struggle with in terms of setting up a business. So now I'm really ready, you know, and I think it always works like that. We kind of go around this circle and we get back to that point. And because I've always wanted to set up a business, I've tried and failed and tried and failed, and this desire and vision is coming back up. It's something that I'm meant to approach. It's something that I'm meant to overcome. It's not something that I'm meant to continue running from. I think anything that keeps coming back up is for something that you need to look at, something that you need to heal, something that you need to know that you are capable of. So yeah, in the second week I was like, okay, it's time to set up a business. And then I was like, okay, well, what do I know? What can I do right now? And then I had this moment of like, wow, Dana, you have so many skills that you're just not using. And skills that you've probably been using for years, but haven't, you know, charged for it, or you haven't like accepted it as a profession because you just thought you weren't ready for it, or you weren't good enough, or you needed more knowledge. So yeah, I've had these moments of realizations where I'm like, wow, I've got everything I need. This whole time, I had everything I need. All I needed to do was to say, yes, I'm gonna call this my profession. I'm going to commit to it, and I'm gonna charge for it. Because I think that, yeah, it's an exchange of services. If I can do something that is very beneficial and helpful to someone else, then I should be able to get my financial needs met. And it's funny because it makes so much sense. I always want to just research. I want to learn more. I want to learn more about everything. And I want to write so much. And if I'm able to do something that I love and to be paid for it, then that time and energy and money goes back into me learning more, goes back into me supporting my clients or my audience. And I'm like, wow, it all makes sense, it all comes together. It's a win-win, win-win-win. And now all it takes for me is to be brave enough to claim it, be brave enough to put myself out there. And today I had this realization of like, this identity you're shifting into, it's not going to be a big shift because you've always been this person. You're not being someone new. You're not pretending to be someone else or something else. This is who you've always been, but you've been so scared of claiming it, of showing it, of calling yourself it. So it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be hard as a career. It's not going to be hard to make money. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but it's not going to be hard as you think it is. And yeah, so I think that is exciting, so exciting. And so at the moment I am going into coaching and mentoring. So mentoring in spirituality and consciousness, because that's my jam. I've done it for so long. Something that I've always read about, learned about, been curious about. And I'm learning every day. I love when my mind ticks and I get little ideas or downloads, and I want to help other people who are curious, who have questions, who want to learn, who want to know more. And I'm also coaching people. And so my background's in health and wellness, and I want to go back to helping people in terms of healing, mentally, physically, emotionally, achieving their goals, living the life that they want, feeling confident in themselves, feeling comfortable in their body. And then I'm also doing some styling, which would be so fun. Doing some virtual styling, and that's something that I'm also very passionate about. My style has developed mostly in the past 3-4 years, 5 years maybe. And I know how much that has really changed my sense of self, my identity, my confidence, how I show up in front of people, what I think about myself, which is so important. And so I think it's not just about fashion and looking cute or sexy and cool, but it's about, making people feel good. People should feel good. And fashion is definitely a big way that people look to seek to feel good in themselves. So I think that's the video for today. So I've got tons and tons of other things I want to talk about, and so I'll follow that up on maybe tomorrow or maybe later on after this. I can't wait to share everything that I've been learning about, all the new things that I've been knowing and seeing and feeling, and all the shifts in my reality that have been reflecting all the work that I've been doing. A lot of magical things have been happening in terms of love and money and career and just everything. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to share.